And hello, everyone. Welcome back to the FPL, the Frontline Prediction League, FPL in the trenches. This is your Frontline Prediction League preview show and recap show, and it's all preview because we got two shows this weekend. This is the Frontline Prediction League, Frontline League on Twitter. Frontline Prediction League is the YouTube channel that you're watching right here, right now. Please like, favorite, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And also check us out with Top of the Card Pod on Twitter. It's Top of the Card Podcast. It's a wrestling podcast done bi-weekly with BeerMe and myself, and I'll introduce us properly for this one. I'm out of order, but it's us with three others talking a lot about actual wrestling, and it's a lot of fun as well. That one is bi-weekly. That's over on Spotify, on iTunes, all that fun stuff. And they both share a Discord, which you can find in the link down below. Go in there, you put in your picks, you see the picks page, which we'll talk about that in a second. You got your match card previews here, and of course these videos, character chats, all that fun stuff. But that said, as I mentioned, I'm Scott, and that's BeerMe. We're both here. BeerMe, how you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good, Scott. How about yourself?
I'm good. I did that completely out of order, but it's all fun. It's a crazy one because we went from being like things are kind of slow and whatever to, oh God, everything's ramped up insanely. We got two shows this weekend, Final Battle and Deadline. They're on the same day, hours apart, probably going to be some overlap. Next week, we'll have our trenches to catch up, the results of that at some point. And then I'm gone for a week and a half, basically. So trenches will be a thing in there, but there's like deadlines about when things have to happen and when we got to do stuff. And it's gotten so busy, and I'm busy at work and busy. It's also, December. It's Christmas time frame. It's nuts. It's crazy. You're crazy busy too, I presume. Everybody is now, right?
Not really. I don't really have a lot going on for the holidays this year, so I'm actually just chilling.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. But no, I mean, it's a crazy time for most people. Everybody else around me is just just jam-packed with stuff,
Yeah.
So.
Well, let's dive into this then, BeerMe, because I know this weekend's going to be nuts. I know we got two shows, and I know there's been weird builds for both. So let's talk about that first. Final Battle is Saturday, December 10th at like 4 p.m. I know it says on there 3 p.m. I believe that is Central Time. Keep that in mind. Whatever time the pay-per-view is, which is 4 p.m. Eastern, as far as I'm recalling right now, the 0 hour is obviously 1 hour prior to that, 3 p.m. Therefore, your deadline is 2 p.m. Eastern on Saturday. This is being recorded Thursday night, so keep that in mind. The deadline for Deadline is 6 p.m. Eastern. Odds are Final Battle won't be over when that happens. We're going to be jumping over and actually doing work on that to get that set during Final Battle, and the results will be out like as soon as possible with that. A lot of it's already prepped and ready to go. And then that show will take place. And then the results will probably more like a Monday, Tuesday, just to be realistic about it. But please get your picks in for both shows. Yes, Ring of Honor Final Battle. It is a house show. It is not as important to be a part of, but it's fun to be a part of things. We'd like everybody to be a part of that one. Please get your picks in. Deadline again is like 2 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget. We've known about this one for a while. We've been saying this one for a while. I get it, things come up. It is a busy time of year. As I've said, as BeerMe said, his other friends know about. It's very busy. So please get your picks in. You can do it right now as of this moment for both shows. Both picks pages are open. You can do it right now. You can look over what we're talking about. Listen to all your predictions of who you think is going to win. I know lots of websites do stuff. I know lots of YouTube channels do stuff like that. And there's odds makers. Do that stuff, get it taken care of so you're not worried about it, and you can just watch some shows on Saturday. Now, that said, let's dive into our versions, because our version of Final Battle does have a main event. The FPL European Grand Prix Championship will be defended by James Blake against Mark Harper, who could become the third ever European champion at this show. And this title's only been around since September 4th's All Out, so we could have our third champion in almost a many months. That's 4 months. But it could be happening here. And I think Blake is going to retain, but I think you were saying Harper, right? If I remember correctly?
Yeah, I'm going to pick Mark Harper.
All right, we're one-on-one, and we're going to move quick because we got two shows worth to go through. But I think Blake is going to retain that one. I think he's going to close out as champion. So let's move on. We have an Ultimate X match. El Cid, Sat Dec, Payne, and Matt Zion. And Matt's randomness makes that weird for an Ultimate X. But I'm picking Matt out of the craziness of that. I think you were going with Payne, right? Maybe?
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Payne, but if I was gonna pick Payne, I'd probably pick Sat Dec.
I like Sat Dec too. I like him in that one. And El Cid also works good, so we'll see. But I'm picking Matt just because you can't predict that one, and that's how he operates. So there you go. We have an untitled match. The world champion, Chef Urban, will go one-on-one with Mad Elite Titan. I am facing him later that night in a Watson Rules at Deadline. But he's facing the world champion here. I hope he wins, because then I get to beat the guy who beat the world champ. That's MMA logic. But yeah, Urban probably is going to win that one. He's been on such a roll, including winning the title. Urban's the safe bet there. What about you? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm going to pick Urban.
Okay. We have Atlas Kiyama going one-on-one with Ralentando. And I think I said before that Ralentando, I don't pick against him, but if you were to pick Atlas, now's the kind of time. But I am still going with Ralentando. How about you?
Same.
Non-title, we have another champion, the FPL Canadian champion, Sebastian Escobar, going one-on-one with Theodore Dr. Zeus Geisel. Non-title, I'm picking Escobar just because of it, because I want him to go to Montreal. Not that it would matter if he lost here, but I'm just picking Escobar all the way, because I want to be the one to beat him. Again. What do you have here, though? Escobar or Geisel?
Yeah.
This one's tougher. This one is tougher.
Yeah, I'm going to pick Escobar, but Geisel does really well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm gonna pick Escobar. I'm gonna say that he gets the dub.
Okay. Next up, it is the GMSG, one half of the FPL Continental Tag Team Champions with yourself, versus Alexander McKennedy. This is one of the preview matches, and I will just scroll down briefly. We're gonna go down here. You, BeerMe, the other half of the tag champions, is facing Dion Blade, McKennedy's partner. That's because you guys are facing off for the tag titles later that same day at Deadline. But you go one-on-one first, and it is GMSG versus McKennedy. I'm picking GMSG. It's what I do with this kind of stuff. I can't pick against them. I know you are also, but McKennedy is a very big problem, right? Like this is a tough one.
Yeah, McKennedy won this match too, so makes sense.
Yep. I would not be surprised if McKennedy won. The odds for me are on GMSG. That's all.
Right.
Next up, James Costner going one-on-one with Detrick Cyrus. Again, this is similar to the Ralentando one I mentioned, where Costner's the safe bet. Cyrus, this is the time to pick him in a match like that. Not to knock him, but this is the kind of timing I feel like you can get one over on him. But Costner did just win Survivor Series. Not for nothing. I think Costner is going to take this one.
I'm going to pick Detrick.
Yeah?
Costner just lost his faction, so...
What is it? Yeah, he's not winning Survivor Series. What am I talking about? I'm just so used to him doing it. He even said it in our character chat and in the real chat. He's won at every Survivor Series, all of them. So I just had that on the brain. I'm still picking him. I think he's going to be loose cannon, but you're probably right. Detrick is kind of the way to go. Now is the time to strike. So I'm still going with Costner on that, but I probably should pick Detrick. Next up, former world champion CJ Hawk versus former tag champion Scherf Dog. He is a sole survivor of the night at Survivor Series. What do you think?
This one's really tough. I'm going to pick Scherf Dog.
Yeah?
I think he's got the momentum, especially after the Survivor Series dub.
I think so, too. I think he's going to run with that momentum. Hawk is a hard one to beat, though.
I think that might be match of the night. I think if we were picking like a match that could be match of the night, I think that could be up there for match of the night.
Maybe.
Score-wise.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Hawk on that one. I'm going to go with Hawk. Scherf Dog, he's winning a lot, fine. But it is, I think the former world champ has got this one. Here's my match, the Watson Rules match. Me against Rate Wrestle. I'm betting on myself.
Oh, I love this match.
What do you have to say about it?
I have to say I love it. It's great. It's a great match. Man, I feel like Ray Russell's character should probably win these.
Yeah, he really should.
But Scott, you're on a mission, and you really want to face this score. And I mean, this is I mean, you got to go through a couple blocks to probably get there. This is a big one.
I gotta go through a couple walls to get there. What are you talking about, blocks?
That's true. Yeah, a couple houses, but a
Yeah,
couple
yeah.
mountains.
Blocks as in like city blocks it is the works
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
It's uphill. It's so uphill, and I gotta try, right? Like if I can't beat him, I can't beat him, and that's that. And I've said this before.
Yeah.
That's the story sometimes too. Oh, it's all good. It's all good.
Especially with this card.
Oh, this card's
yeah,
weird.
I'm
Yeah.
I know. I'm gonna pick you
Okay.
because I don't think your journey's gonna stop here.
Yeah.
So,
Okay. But yeah, no.
we'll see.
With Survivor Series, the way War Games even went, like Right Wrestle and I didn't really encounter each other much. He had more of a moment with Lee, the rider, in there, but
Yeah,
that's why I kind of like this following up. We lost War Games. So did Team CT, but they weren't the ones who were like beaten at the end. So there's some
Right.
payback that he wants, and I just got to go onward through a mission. So we'll see. And then there's of course yourself and Dion. I am picking you. I presume you are as
no,
well.
thank you. Yeah, must see.
Must see. Yes. But you never know. They might win both of these matches, but then you guys retain the tag titles. Like that's sometimes how that goes, right? So
They might. Yeah,
It could be good, or it's the other way around, and you guys lose them. Oh.
it's gonna be a tough night either way. I don't really know. I know it's gonna be a war. It's gonna be a battle. So.
Well, we'll get to final. Ironically, Final Battle is not the final card by a matter of hours. Deadline is. We'll get to that in a second. We do have the kickoff show match. We do know that the Arbiter, Lexi Briggs, Luke Gray, and Red will go one-on-one in a match as well. I'm picking Red. Sorry, that's my girl. Who you got? Going with Arbiter? Going with Luke?
I'm gonna pick Luke, and I think it's
Momentum.
because his team momentum. Yeah,
Yep.
he put together a team, and they took. Yeah,
I like it. All right. Next up is Deadline. So let's move over to that card and that graphic. Again, all these graphics done by CT. Very, very cool. Very, very fun. Deadline. The deadline is 6 p.m. Deadline happens at 8 p.m. That's not confusing at all, but there you go. So, the main event is the FPL Continental Tag Team Championship. As mentioned, the must-see good guys, BeerMe and GMSG, will defend against the MBPA, McKennedy, and Blade. I am picking the good guys, just they're the team to beat right now, but I think this is their stiffest challenge yet. I thought that about SOD, but I always thought if this team made it through, the one that didn't even have a team name at the start, they'd be a problem. And here they are, a major, major problem for the must-see good guys. I mean, I presume you're picking yourselves, but let's really dive into that.
it's gonna be tough.
This is the biggest threat. It is also an NXT show with 5 matches, and 2 of them are 5-person matches. You also have the New Day coming down to NXT for a bit. You got a women's match, not for the title or even contendership. What are you feeling here? And what should be a foregone conclusion NXT title match, maybe it isn't, right? Like this is a weird, wild deadline card to really predict. So, how are you feeling going in? Like this, kind of putting it into like a kayfabe perspective. You feeling confident on this one, or what?
Oh man, I'm feeling ready, but
Excuse me.
honestly, there's like one match I'm really kind of concerned about, but I feel pretty confident in some. I feel confident in like the other 4, so we'll see. But then again, I don't know. I don't know how we're gonna do it. So
Can I put some interesting perspective on this card for you?
sure.
Because this stuff kind of stands out, and I know you're going to hate it. I know Jimmy C's going to hate it, but he's also going to love it, but he's going to hate it. Last year at Survivor Series, Costner won and went on to beat Bash at the world title at War Games, like a week or 2 later.
Yeah.
McKennedy and Blade, Antidote, are now coming to challenge the other 2 of FBU a week or so after War Games at Deadline. It's very, very mirrored in a wild way that nobody could have predicted. Like, he didn't get the title shot because of Survivor Series last year. And these guys didn't either. They lost Survivor Series this year. But the fact that it's
Yeah.
it's FBU people defending against essentially Antidote people in everything but name, because Antidote is no more. Bastion lost at NXT this time last year.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the good guys defending against other Antidote people at NXT this year. The end of the year has been a bad time for you historically, BeerMe. I helped beat you 1 year for the tag titles. We were the 8th seed. I'm going to keep bringing that up. It's been 5 years, I know. Not to be like, oh, be sad and be worried about it. But it's like, I mean, you never know. If you were writing this story, this is when FBU bucks that trend. Right? Like, they overcome. And, the bad guys, who's going to beat them? Like, that's how you write that. That's why I'm picking you guys. But, man, that history's wild. Right? Like...
It is. It is.
I got doubts
yeah.
over you now, didn't I? Yeah, yeah. It is not.
No,
fate is
doubts,
not what you
doubts.
make. Now that's the overcome is what it is, right? So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that I'm pretty sure we can get it done.
Okay.
I mean, I'm confident in our abilities to do that. So.
Good. Well, speaking of championships, we do also have the FPL Canadian Championship, and this is a wild one too. Watson rules. Sebastian Escobar is defending against Chappers. He literally defended last against Modstep, who were former tag team champions in both promotions that we've worked with here. So, and that just happened to be a thing. Like, that wasn't planned either. I love when that stuff just kind of falls into place. So, I'm picking Escobar to retain. I'm going to keep picking Escobar to retain until I challenge him. If I challenge him, we'll see what happens. But right now, I'm going with Escobar all the way. Who have you got? Escobar? Because you're a big Creatures fan historically. But it's La Familia, right? So...
Yeah. I teamed with Creatures and War Games one year. And yeah, I mean, the Creatures go back. So, I mean, even though we were rivals and all that, we're cool. But Escobar is trying to prove that he's the champ. He's the A champ. That's what he's trying to. He's trying to show everybody that he's number one. So, I think that he's just going to keep doing it until people take notice. I'm going to pick him as well.
Okay. I like it.
Yeah. I think he's going to get it done.
All right. We have a 5-person number 1 contenders match. It is Bastion versus Bane the Bissa versus Broken Nerd versus Monkey Bong versus Josh Yonio. I said that in that way because all had to be until JD at the end. Right. I think we talked about this one a lot last time when we announced it, so I don't want to dwell too much on this one. Bastion is clearly the odds-on favorite just with his history in these kind of situations of contendership. But I think we both have the sentimental favorite. We kind of both want Monkey Bong just because, oh my god, what? That would be amazing because he's shockingly good in these kind of matches. Like, he's often over or underestimated. But I think the dark horse is JD. In the sense, like, he's going to win. And he's going to make you hurt.
Right.
But I think you want Broken Nerd, right? You were thinking Nerd. If not Bastion, you were thinking Nerd, right? To kind of get back to the mountaintop? Yeah.
Yeah. And Bane. And Bane could win it. I mean, I'm gonna pick Bastion, but like if I had to pick like a number 2, it'd probably be Nerd, or I would want Monkey Bong to win it, of course. But just for that.
Yeah, Bastion's a good pick. I'm going with JD. I think JD's gonna take this one.
This match is gonna be really weird.
It is. It really is. Yeah. I love that Monkey Bong and Bane are in it because they're so new to that level of things, and yet that's the point. That's what. Let's see what happens. Let's go. Can the old guard? Not that they're old, but can the established defeat the newcomers coming in? Right? Like, can they keep their territory? Other kind of analogies like that. Other people want the shot. Here they are trying to take it literally from them. And it absolutely happened. And I would love it if it did. I'd love any of these 5 to win that. So I'm going with JD, though. I think he's the one. I don't bet against him in these situations either. Bastion is Bastion, but I think it's JD. Of course, you're going with Bastion.
Right.
So let's move from there. We got the FPL American Championship being defended by Ash, who retained over Bastion. I'll say that again. He retained over Bastion. He's defending in a submission match against CM Carlito. I'm picking Ash. I think Ash has that momentum that was long outrunning him in a sort of way. Like, he just came back too soon, it seems like. Like, he came back from injury too quick, and it got the best of him. But he finally got his legs under him, and now he's champion with big-time defenses. I think this will be another one. What about you?
I know that he said big time defenses, but man, all Carlito does is win.
It's true.
I mean, you know, I'm, oh, man, it's tough.
Yeah.
I'm gonna pick Ash as well,
Yeah.
but I would not be shocked if Carlito pulled this out because he's just on a streak right now of
I can
winning.
see it. Yep. I like that. I like that a lot. I can see that. Next up, the world champion, Chef Urban. He has the non-title match with Luke Gray. Yes, it's one of the few non-world championship defenses at a main show, at a WWE main show especially. But basically, they'll be defending at the Rumble, so we're not going to do back-to-back like that. So that's that. Luke Gray does get the opportunity, though, to face the world champion in one of these rare situations at a main show. And Luke Gray could pin the world champion. That could change everything for like February and March time frame, right? Like that goes a long way towards the main shows there. Not saying he officially gets a world title match or anything, but I mean, not for nothing, pin the world champion on a main show. We notice. You pin him on any show, you notice. So I think Urban's got this one though, but again, this is the time Luke Gray can sneak in there on a 5-match card and get that win. One question wrong, one bonus wrong is all it takes to lose on such a small event like that. And that's why the champions are who they are, and that's why people can defeat them and upset them sometimes. So I think Urban's got it, but Luke can absolutely win this. Not that he couldn't any other time, but this is the time to capitalize on a champ like that, I think. Like, if there was money in the bank, you couldn't really lose, right? Like, you'd cash in on this kind of show. That's how that goes. So
right.
That's how small that is. But who have you got here? You got Urban or you got Luke?
Because
Luke's got the momentum, right? You were saying before.
Yeah, but, I mean, Urban's champ, so he's got to show why he's champ. So that's why I'm going to pick him. I think he's going to win.
I like it. Next up, we do have the team of Shades and Smiles, who did not win the tournament, but were finalists. Former world champ CJ Hawk and the pinner of champions Lexi Briggs going 2-on-2. I always still say going 1-on-1, even though it's two teams. Going team on team with the Operation. Smooth Rock, former Canadian champion, and Theodore Geisel. As mentioned earlier, you've been really picking in high on Geisel. And Smooth Rock is really good. He kicked my ass in War Games. I am kind of leaning towards the Operation here the more I say that. Even though Shades and Smiles seems like the team to beat, I think Operation's going to beat them. And I know that's a bit of an underdog one, but I think that's kind of why. I think Operation has this. What about you?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Okay. Anything in particular, or just the same stuff about Geisel from earlier?
Yeah, and it's pretty much. And they got Smooth Rock, former Canadian champ.
Yep.
You know, I mean, but then again, like the opposing team of Hawk and Lexi is really good, and they're really good as a tag team. So, yeah, I think we are picking the underdogs here, but I'm going to roll with them.
Now, these two shows are the time. ROH shows are a bit unorthodox, and NXT shows are small. Like, not a lot of matches, not a lot of room for error. So the people that really get a lot of picks right are the good ones to pick at these shows. And that's my thought process here. And that takes us to Jonathan C.T. Martin versus Roman Pierce, a battle of two world champions. They actually took the title. CT took it off of Roman. This is the Money in the Bank kind of revenge match finally happening. I'm picking CT. Who have you got?
Oh, man. CT's on a slide.
You said it. Does it continue? Yeah. Does he end the year on a slide?
I can't.
Does he slide into Hard to Kill against you in the Crystal Lake fight pit? Whatever the heck that's called again.
Who knows? He might win it. He might win at ROH, and then he'll be at a stop.
That's true. But if he loses here, he restarts his slide.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, yeah. Can't believe I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna pick Roman Pierce.
Oh God, really?
And I'm gonna do it because he wants revenge.
It makes sense storyline.
He was the one
right?
cashed in on him. Yeah. You know, he's gonna. But we'll see. It'll be a good match.
And we know definitively if CT had not had the bonus for Money in the Bank, he would not have won the world title. Like, the scores were like that. That's the nature of Money in the Bank. So he did cost Roman Pierce his title. If it was a straight up defense against CT, he would not have lost it. So, yeah, stuff like that gets wild. So, okay. We do have the European champion, maybe, versus maybe could have been a Canadian champion. This is James Black versus Mod Step. Sorry, James Blake. That's got the wrong name in there. It's got the right picture, though. It's James Blake. He's the champion. James Black is not on this card. James Blake, the European champion, is facing Mod Step, who almost was Canadian champion, former tag champion. I think this is Mod Step's time to win this kind of match. Blake might not even be champ here, though. He might lose it to Harper going into this. So,
yeah, you know, if it's like with Mod Step, if it's for a title, just pick the other guy. But if it's not, then pick him. That's what I'm going to do.
So
That's what it seems like.
If Blake is champion, you think he's going to win here. But if he's not, Mod Step has it.
It's not for the title, though, right?
It's not. No,
Blake is okay,
non-title no matter
if it's
what.
Not for the title, then yes, Mod Step will win.
Okay.
I think. James Blake, don't yell at me, but I think Mod Step will win.
Okay. Next up, we do have the Annex Asylum, Static, and Captain Krulix Blackwell, who called me out in a character chat promo. I haven't had that in a while. Versus Symphony of Destruction, Sheriff Dog, and Pain. I'm kind of leaning towards SOD, because those guys are very violent bruisers, and the Annex Asylum are a bit newer. And Sheriff Dog did outlast the Annex Asylum 2-1 at Survivor Series. So I am leaning towards SOD based on all that, but fresh 2-on-2, that might be the Asylum's time to win it, but I am going with the Symphony of Destruction. How about you?
I'm gonna go with the Asylum.
Yeah.
Just the fact that they almost pulled that off.
They did.
At Survivor Series. And they just had to beat one more guy, and it was Sheriff Dog, and he was the last survivor. And my hat's off to him, but here I'm gonna pick the Asylum.
Okay, sounds good. Next up, we do have the Light of the Cult, Danny the Light Jordison, and Kurt Cult, who are on a surprising roll by all accounts, versus La Familia, Patrick Cyrus, and the Alpha Dog. I'm picking Light of the Cult. That's a sentimental favorite. They're ending the year as like the underdogs who are winning. I love everything about it.
Dude.
I love La Familia, former tag champs, but I think the Light of the Cult's going to take it.
I know, I do like me some La Familia. But man, if Light of the Cult can go on a three win tag team streak, that would be awesome. I'm gonna go with you, Scott. I'm gonna go with my heart here, and I'm gonna pick them.
Okay.
I'm gonna pick Light of the Cult.
On the kickoff, I got another Watson Rules match. It is myself and Mad Elite Titan, who might beat the world champion earlier that night. I'm picking myself. I have to. But who do you think? Do you think I'm going to beat him on a main show?
No, I mean you got to get to Escobar, right?
I do. So
you know,
okay.
I gotta. I'm gonna go with you until it doesn't. So
okay.
I'm gonna ride with you.
Oh boy. And also, Red is going to face Mark Harper, who could be the European champion at this point. I'm picking Red no matter what. I hope that he's the European champion and she beats him.
You know, I've been high on Mark Harper, so it's tough for me to. I just said that he would beat James Blake
and win the title.
So, yeah, he's gonna keep rolling.
Okay,
I'm gonna go with him.
That's fair.
And I'm just kind of high on Mark Harper.
Now, the rest of the card, obviously, we got Hard to Kill coming up next, and there is the Crystal Lake Fight Pit submission match with CT and BeerMe. That's it. And there's a casket match. I mentioned that there's going to be a casket match because there's a casket in the logo, and I've decided we're having one. And we were all like, yeah.
That's awesome.
Because we've never done one, so we're going to do a casket match. But the European title will also be defended at Hard to Kill. It's the house show. It's going to happen there, so that's the time frame for it. But as far as for these shows, let me scroll back up through here to the top. And then, let's click over here anyway. Boom, Final Battle. You can make your predictions for this show right now. You can make your predictions for both shows right now. The picks page is here. How this works. People have already been putting in their picks. But if you haven't yet, you put your name, you think who's going to win. Is it Jericho or Claudio? Jericho will retain. And I'm most confident I'm going to put 7 on it. Cool. FTR and the Briscoes. The FTR's won 2 of them. Maybe the Briscoes win, but you only think at 2. You can't use the 7 again. You can't use the 2 again. They're used. So if you come down here and you think Mercedes, there's no way she's losing. Well, the highest you can use is 6. And you use up all your numbers, you can move them around afterwards, but don't use duplicates. What happens if you do is whatever one happens first is the one that counts. The other one is thrown out. You don't get it even if you're right. So That's how that works. Please, please, please keep that in mind. If you have goofed on that, we will reach out and say, hey, fix it if we catch it. We don't catch them all beforehand, and people put stuff in the last second. It happens. Deadline again. Deadline. 2 p.m. Eastern for Final Battle. And then over here, oh, look, it's Deadline. That deadline's 6 p.m. Eastern. Both on Saturday. So put your picks in now. You're watching this Thursday night. It's like 10 o'clock. It'll be a minute when it goes up. Watching it Friday, put your picks in. Saturday morning, put your picks in. Saturday afternoon, good Lord, get your picks in. You got till 2 for one of the shows. But you over here, you put your name in for this one. You think Braun Breaker? No way he's losing. It's Braun Breaker winning. Yeah. He's getting a 5. Pretty Deadly and New Day? You know what? New Day's going to win. I'm putting a 1 on it. You do stuff like that. You go on the bottom, you got some bonus questions. Who's the 5th person to enter the Women's Iron Survivor? Who's tagging in first in the tag team? Oh, God, it's a tag title bonus, BeerMe. God damn it. How will Alba versus Isla end? Will there be blood spilled during the NXT title? Who's the 3rd to enter the Men's Iron Survivor? How many total points will be earned in both Iron Survivor matches? And there's ranges for that, so have fun with it. Like it's a lot of fun on these bonuses, especially with the NXT show. There's only 5 matches. That bonus of 3 could get you the win, or getting it wrong could cost you the match. It's all about fun. Please keep that in mind, but it's super fun. Put this stuff in there. Main shows do count. Get your matches in. Get your matches in for Final Battle as well. I'll be doing my picks probably Friday night, and then we'll go from there. But, BeerMe, that's about it for these. We've got, like I said, Final Battle and Deadline. Both these shows are here as I click on the things. These shows, it is a double shot weekend. Which one are you more excited for? Deadline with the craziness to do 5-on-5s, or Final Battle with the who the heck knows is going to happen? Which one are you more legit excited for?
Because they're both Deadline.
Yeah, they're both weird shows that came out of nowhere. Because we were looking at nothing after Survivor Series. We hoped for a Final Battle, and then suddenly December 10th at 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. Oh, okay. And then suddenly NXT had a show too. Oh, neat. These came out of nowhere, but we had ideas. I'm looking forward to probably Deadline just because I want to see these goofy Survivor matches. And I just went through the podcast, and I went off on how silly they sound, but I still want to see it. Final Battle, I love the insanity of what are they doing. Like, I can't look away in part of it, right? And generally it'll be good, but there'll be some bad too. But we're trying to be positive here. This is the fun part, even if you're not on board totally. Put your picks in. You get to do this stuff, and you get to have a little more kind of attachment to it and see how things go, but don't let it all ride. It was like, if it fails out, well, they're obviously very weird shows. 2 matches are usual bottom locks with who the hell knows out of 5. Might even have a participant thrown out and replaced. Like, Dennis is gone, like that stuff happens. And ROH, what the heck are they doing with that one? Who knows? So keep that in mind with your picks. It's going to be weird. Like that 6-man tag title match, Gates of Agony and Brian Cage. What? Sure, okay. It's going to be a wild one, but get your picks in for both. Again, Deadline's Deadline, 6 p.m. Eastern. Final Battle's Deadline, which is before Deadline. It's not final, but it's prior. Its Deadline is 2 p.m. Eastern. Very confusing, I know. As long as you get your picks in Friday night, you're good. Keep it like that. You're well on your way. So please, please, please get your stuff in there. But BeerMe, anything else you'd like to say at the end here before we go?
Not really. Just everybody get your picks in, and good luck on the weekend.
Yes. Good luck, everybody. We'll see you in our voice chat and in our live event chat in the Discord channel. Again, those links are down below here on the YouTube page. Like, favorite, subscribe on this channel, and go follow us on Top of the Card Pod Twitter and on Frontline League Twitter. Do those ones also. We appreciate that. For BeerMe, thanks again, everybody. Have a good night.